Hare Hare. So we'll chant once more. We can raise our hands up in the air, calling out for the mercy of Shri Shri Gaur Nitai, Shri Shri Panchatattva, Radha Golokananda. So let's loudly chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Shri Shri Radha Golokananda ki jai. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I know a few people came when we were chanting Japa. Is there anyone here for the first time whom we didn't welcome before? So thank you everyone for joining us. So as I mentioned, our schedule is we're going to have a class by His Holiness bkgoswami Maharaj. And then after class, we have a short presentation. And at 6 p.m., there'll be dinner prasadam downstairs in the hall. Okay.
Okay.
So thank you so much.
And you'll make your announcement about Gaur Purnima and Nityananda's appearance day after the class?
After.
Okay, good.
So also we request everyone, if you can kindly come forward, please come forward for the class. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you all for joining us. It's good to see everybody. So today is a very special day on the Vaishnava or in the Vaishnava calendar. It's the glorious commemoration of the disappearance day of Shripad Madhvacarya. So we're going to speak about Shripad Madhvacarya today. But as we usually do, you can give me, will that garland fit? Hope so. Okay. As you know, on disappearance days of great personalities, we chant this very nice prayer. It's called Saparshada Gora Vivraha Vilapo, which means, I don't need that, no. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. Which means lamentation upon the separation from the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the Supreme Personality of Godhead's devotees. So, or it's called the Prayers to the Departed Vaishnavas in plain English. So, anyway, we'll start. Jai Adilo Prema Janna Corona Pracho Enu Prabhu Kota Yela Acharya Thakur Ahamora Svaruprupa Kasanatsan Natsa Raghunatha Patita Pavan Tahamurabhata Juga Gagavi Raga Ekakane Kotakela Gorana Dagara. Pashane Kutibo Mata Annale Pasibo. Ho. Gorangagu Neranete Kotakele Babo. Say Sabba Sangira Sange Ye Koila Velas. Say Sangana Ayakande Narot Amboda. Yayanilo Prema Dana Corona Pracho. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribo, 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 Haribo. Let's shine on Haribo, 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 Haribo. Jaya Charya Thakur, Jaya Thakur, Jaya Thakur, Jaya Charya Thakur. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupad. Paramahansa, Parvadikacharya. Shimad, Divine Grace. Abhaya Charanam. Srila Prabhupada. Ijai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada. Ijai. Anantakoti Vaishnav Vrindikajai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Kijai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shidway Gadadha Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrindikajai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sayam Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Kijai Vrindavanam Kijai Maturanam Kijai Jagannath Swami Kajai, one of my Kajai, Srimati Lalasi Devi Kajai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Kajai, Go Premananda Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada Kajai. Nama Vishnu Padaya. Krishna Prastaya Budale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Vacharni Nivashesha Shunyavadi Paschachite Jitarni. So I'm going to read the English to this poem by Narottamadas Thakur. He who brought the treasure of divine love and who was filled with compassion and mercy. Where is such a personality as Srinivasa Acharya gone? Where are my Swarup Damodar and Rupa Goswami? Where is Sanatan? Where is Raghunath Das, the savior of the fallen? Where are my Raghunath Bhatta and Gopal Bhatta? And where is Krishnadas Kaviraj? Where did Lord Gauranga, the great dancer, suddenly go? I will smash my head. Sounds like someone's smashing their head against the rock and enter into the fire. Where will I find Lord Gauranga, the reservoir of all wonderful qualities? Being unable to obtain the association of Lord Gauranga, accompanied by all these devotees in whose association he performed his pastimes, Narottama Das simply weeps. So, we got some weeping there. So this is how someone feels when a great Acharya leaves the planet. Not only do we miss the association of such a great Acharya, but we actually lament him not being there. We lament his instructions. And what happens sometimes is irreligious principles rise when great acharyas leave the planet. And sometimes rascals and fools take over. And that happened quite a few times when great acharyas or incarnations of the Supreme Lord left this world. Then you had problems. But that's not what we're going to talk about tonight. We're not going to talk about the problems. So we're going to talk about Sripad Madhvacarya, who is the head of the Brahma Sampradaya. For those of you who don't know, there's 4 Sampradayas or disciplic successions, Vaishnava disciplic successions. And one is the Brahma Sampradaya, and Lord Brahma got his information from Krishna directly. Lord Brahma was Krishna's son, no wife, just Krishna's son, right from the navel. And so Lord Brahma performed austerities for hundreds of celestial years. And then Krishna gave him instructions to meditate. Actually, his first meditation is just performing austerities, tapa, tapa, tapa. And then he got this realization from Krishna within the heart. And that realization gave him the instructions to start the disciplic succession. And then the next spiritual master was Narada Muni. And then after that, you have Vyasadeva. So, of course, between Vyasadeva and Madhva, who appeared around the 1200s AD, there's a lot of time. But Vyasadeva is still on the earth right now. He's in the upper section of what's called Badri. You understand? You can't reach Badrinath, what we call Badri. Badrinath, he's in the upper area that you can't reach. But Madhvacarya, this great acharya, was able to go there. And the reason he was able to go there, I'll tell you in a second. We'll have a little mystery why he was able to go there. So let's start with who he is. Of course, the other sampradayas are the Sri Sampradaya, Lakshmi, that's the Lakshmi Sampradaya, the Kumara Sampradaya, and the Rudra Sampradaya. And each have their appropriate acharyas. And we're members here of the Brahma Sampradaya, which is the same sampradaya that comes from Sripad Madhvacharya, specifically the Brahma Madhvacarya Sampradaya. And this sampradaya, like all sampradayas, contains perfect knowledge, but perfect knowledge must be transmitted by perfect personalities from one person to another, or else the knowledge gets broken. As Krishna mentions in the Gita, that he said, I referring to himself, instructed this Bhagavad Gita to, does anyone know who? Who's Vivaswan? Sun God. And in the course of time, this knowledge is broken. So a chain is only as strong as the weakest link. So anyway, so this is a sampradaya. It's unbroken. We are members of the sampradaya, and the most prominent member of the sampradaya in the modern day and age is His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So we're very fortunate. And we have Prabhupada's Bani, Prabhupada's instructions, Prabhupada's manifestation right here. And you're welcome to get sets of these books. You can have Prabhupada. How's this for an advertisement? You're welcome to get sets of these books in your house. And when you get sets of these books in your house, you have Prabhupada in your house. Prabhupada said, even if you just don't even open the book, you just put the book on your bookshelf and you respect the book, you make spiritual advancement. Your life becomes very fortunate. So we advise you to open the book, though. Not simply have a book display so that everyone sees how erudite you are. So we have the Association of Srila Prabhupada. So as far as Sripad Madhvacharya is concerned, he's a very special person. No, not only was he great acharya in our sampradaya, but he has a very special position in relationship to another pure devotee who's there in the heavenly planets. And that person's name was Vayu. Anyone's heard of Vayu before? He's the wind god. You know, each of the different aspects of the material nature have a particular entity who controls them. Not just like in a company. People say, well, what, do you believe in many gods? No, we don't believe in many gods. We believe in one God, but God has a lot of people work for him. Like if you were Henry Ford, for example, you might have been in your last life. So if you were Henry Ford, you just push some buttons. Prabhupada told the story, and the engineer would come running, and you just tell him what to do. So Krishna doesn't have to push buttons. He just wishes something to happen. He's up to karma, and it happens. So he has all these different demigods. Then, therefore, Krishna has plenty of time just to play his flute and dance with his girlfriends, right? So these are like the assistants of Krishna within the material world. Not all of them are pure devotees. Some of them have a lot of trouble, spiritual trouble, like Indra. Indra just definitely has trouble with women from time to time. We're not going to tell that story. But still, Vayu, he's a pure devotee. So what happened is there was a need to establish religious principles. As we know, Krishna says, you know, yada, 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 masha, glani, bhavati, bharata. whenever there is a decline in religious principles, then what happens? Does anyone know what happens? Krishna comes, but sometimes he comes through a Shaktavesh avatar. Shaktavesh avatar means, the word avatar means to descend. And Shaktavesh means basically he gives the energy to someone. You know, let the force be with you. If anyone's seen Star Wars, no. Anyway, so you've seen it. What? You're supposed to be a disciple. So no, that's part of being a disciple. You have to see Star Wars. But anyway, so he's given the energy to carry out a specific mission, like an ambassador or something like that is given a specific post or specific authority to do something. So therefore, Krishna thought we have to send someone down to actually establish religious principles. And to get rid of the dushkritinos. So you may say, how did Madhvacarya get rid of the dushkritinas? Well, dushkritinas, there's different types of dushkritinas. Namam dushkritina muda, prapajante naradama maya pritigyana masuram bhava mashrita. 4 different types. I guess there's more than 4, but these are the 4 basic types. And one of them is maya pritigyana, those whose knowledge is stolen by illusion. And then what do we mean by that? Why are they dushkritinas, or those who are atheists? The reason that they're dushkritinas is because they mislead people. I mean, it's better to be a mudha, right? That's another type of dushkritina. A mudha is someone who just like works hard just to eat and sleep and mate and defend. It can't cause too much trouble, right? The mudha. You know what a mudha is? Rascal, mudha. So, and then the Radhama can't cause too much trouble. But the Maya Pratyajnana Masuram Bhava Mashrita, that is those whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, those who are against God or against Krishna, they create trouble because they mislead others. They're the Anda Yatanda Upaniyamanash. They're the blind people, Anda. And they mislead other blind people. So Madhvacarya was sent specifically down to get rid of these Maya Pratyajnana and Asurambhava Mashritas, right? So he does that through knowledge, through challenging others, because this is how a Brahmin conquers. A Kshatriya, he conquers like Arjuna did with what? Bow and arrows, with his weapons, astra, right? Brahmastra, Vayunastra, Vayuastra. What other astras do we have here? Astra. So anyway, he has these astras. But a Kshatriya, a Brahmin, his astra is like with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sango Pangastra Parshadam. Isn't it? Yagyayi Sankirtan Na Prayar Yajanti Hi Sumedasa. So Lord Chaitanya, his weapon is the chanting of the Lord's holy names, along with his associates, Sango Pangastra Parshadam. So anyway, so Madhvacarya was like that too. So Madhvacarya was actually the son or an expansion of the wind god. And Madhvacarya has 2 illustrious brothers who also helped establish religious principles, but at different times. Does anyone know who those brothers were? Who were his brothers? Hanuman and Bhimsen. And the nice thing about those 2, as well as Madhvacarya, is that they were very strong. I mean, Hanuman, he could leap across the ocean. Bhimsen, he had the strength of 10,000 elephants. I mean, really amazing strength. He was a real Superman. And that's from Vayu, because your expansions are sons of Vayu. So Madhvacharya was one of these sons, and he had this amazing strength, which we're going to talk about in a second. And before he appeared, there were interesting signs about his appearance. And one in particular, there was a man who predicted his advent. And this man appeared to be crazy. What he did is he climbed up on this flagpole, or tallest building in the city. And, he acted real crazy because people want to see a crazy person, to attract people. If you really want to attract people, act crazy. That doesn't mean wear dhoti and go on Harinam or anything like that. You attract people because you're different. So he started to announce that soon the wind god's son is going to appear in this place called Udupi. Some of you may know where Udupi is. It's Western India. And some of you may have even come from Udupi or close to Udupi. And of course, that's Madhvacharya's home place in Udupi. So he was born like that, and he was so powerful even from his very birth that, just like you have the story of Bean saying he was dropped right after he was born. And what happened when his mother Kunti Devi dropped him? Does anyone know? He smashed the rock. He fell off a cliff, and the mother's thinking, oh my God, my son's gone. Don't try that with your baby. You end up in jail if that happens. But the rock was smashed. She was all worried about that. So with Madhvacharya, he, first of all, he was a voracious eater too, as well as a strong person. He actually, for the first 12 years, it's described that he would, well, actually, no, not the first 12 years. His mother and father, in order to have him, just drank milk and did this payovrata for 12 years in order to have him as a son. And, but he was so hungry that he drank his mother's milk every half hour. That's pretty difficult. And so when it came time, it's an indication of his hunger or his strength. When it came time for his anaprasana, his parents just were coming back, and he was hungry, and he said I don't know if he said, but he indicated it was time for him to eat his first grains. So his mother was gone, and his sister saw this bag of horse grains, 40 kilos. Now, for those of you who don't know what kilos is, a kilo is 2.2 pounds. So 40 kilos of horse grains he ate in one sitting. I mean, this is not an ordinary personality. And then other things he did was, when he was young, he would play with bulls, and he would grab their tail, and he would ride a big bull. We're not just talking about calves. And he would ride them all day long. Very powerful physical personality. I mean, and he had mental strength that matched his physical abilities. And there's an interesting story told by his biographers that one day a man came to his house, and this man was owed a lot of money by Madhvacharya's father. And so this man, he just went to the house and sat outside with his arms crossed. I mean, that's what they do sometimes, because it's really embarrassing. You may think in America it wouldn't work, right? If someone was to owe you money and just stood outside their house, you just say, all right. He'd probably give a little prasadam or something like that. That's about it. But he refused to take any prasadam, refused to accept hospitality. And it's embarrassing, to have some guy declaring that you owe money. So little Madhvacharya was a very small kid at that time. He was like a baby. He came out of the house, and he thought, I'll pay the debts of my father. And he held some tamarind seeds in his hands, and he offered them to the man. And the man was just like enamored by Madhvacharya's beauty. Took the tamarind seeds. Then he looked at his hands, and his hands were full of gold coins, of gold. And so Madhvacharya had somehow or other paid his father's debt. So then it came time for his Upanayanam, the Brahmin thread and everything like that that you get. And there was a Purana reciter at his Upanayana. And the reciter was reciting different verses from the Purana. And he corrected him, 5 years old. And he corrected him. He said, "You're pronouncing it wrong." And here's a little kid like that. And his father said, "You don't want to, this is wrong etiquette, trying to correct this great sage." But the reciter actually understood that he was wrong, and he was humble enough to say that. And so Madhvacharya was brilliant, even not having gone to school at that particular juncture, because that's done before one goes to school. And then also another thing happened when he was 5 years old. There was a big snake demon that came to his house. He had the snake demon had 3 heads. And what happened is Madhvacharya just put his toe on the snake demon, killed the snake demon. And this is the same demon, one of the same demons that was killed by Bhimsen. And he had mystic powers too. His teacher's son had a headache. And so Madhvacharya was known as Vasudev at that point. He blew in the sun's ear, wind, because he's the wind, son to the wind god. And he cured this son of the teacher. So eventually he accepted a spiritual master. A spiritual master's name was Achyuta Preksha, who was actually a guru that taught impersonalism, or Asurambhava Mashrita. He wasn't a demon, but he was teaching something that was against the Vedic principles, which was impersonalism. And so this guru was very intelligent. He understood how to cultivate children. You give them sweets. So every time, got to remember that, not chastisement, sweets. So every time Vasudeva, that was Madhvacharya before, came to this guru's temple, he would be given a sweet. And then at 9 years old, all he could think about was the sweets and how nice the guru was and everything like that. And he said to his parents, "I want to take sannyas." Now, he was the only son. Now, for those of you from India, which is most of the people here, know that the son is your old age insurance. That was before you had all these insurance companies and Social Security, which may not work in the future. So, right? That was before you had any of these things. It was the son. Okay. The daughter, she's nice, but you give her away. She's not going to take care of you. So that's why everyone wanted to have a son. And also to perform this pinda. The son is called putra, to perform the pinda. Actually, a daughter can perform pinda too, but generally that's not done. So he was the only son, and his father was completely in anxiety. He went to the guru, Achyuta Preksha, and he said, "How can you do this to my son? He's my only son." And he said to Madhvacharya, Vasudeva, "You can't do this. You're all I have in this world." And Madhvacharya, being very intelligent, said, "Okay, let's make a deal, Dad." Or Dad. I can call him Dad. But anyway, Peter Shri. Let's make a deal, Peter Shri. If you can have another son, can I take sannyas? And therefore, his father said, "Of course." And his father was thinking, we're not going to have another son because he and his wife were quite old at that particular juncture. So eventually, they had another son. And Madhvacharya said, "Haribol." And he took sannyas at a very young age. I mean, of course, he was older than 9. I think it was about 11 or 12 that he took sannyas. So he became very, very close with the Chuttapreksha, even though Chuttapreksha was preaching uh, impersonal philosophy. And eventually, Chuttapreksha, his guru, became convinced by him, by his erudition, to take initiation from his disciple. It's very similar to the story of Sripad Ramanujacharya. Some of you may know this story. Of course, Ramanujacharya's guru tried to kill him first. Tried to take him to the Ganges, kill him, and then bathe in the Ganges so he wouldn't have any sin. But Achyutapreksha was different. Achyutapreksha was very attached to Ramanuja. He couldn't, I mean, to Vasudev or Madhvacharya. Very, very attached. He couldn't live without him. And so Madhvacharya embarked at that particular point upon defeating all these different pundits who were preaching bogus philosophy. And he established the proper understanding of the Vedanta philosophy. And actually, later on, he wrote his own commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. So he was given the name Ananda Tirtha by his spiritual master, which meant that he was actually the head. He was given the charge of that, being the head of his spiritual master's mouth. So one day, there was a bunch of Buddhists who came to argue with him. They were headed up by someone named Bodhisagara. That's an interesting name. It means an ocean of knowledge. Bodhisagara. So, and what happened is they came to the ashram and they said, we want to have an argument, philosophical argument. That's how Brahmins defeated others, as I said before. And what happened is Madhvacharya's spiritual master said, you can talk to Madhvacharya, not me, or Ananda Tirtha, and not me. And tomorrow we can have this nice argument. And when the Bodhisagara and all these monks understood what was going to happen, they ran away because they were afraid of talking to Madhvacharya. And actually, the word Madhvacharya has some significance. Madhu means like honey. Like a madhumaki is a honeybee, like that. Nectar, Ananda. And he still had a very big appetite. As described, one time he ate 200 plantains at one sitting. But he was very much into physical culture. It's not that he was overweight or anything. He used that energy to think and preach, and also sometimes to fight. And he and his disciples had a very unusual relationship. I mean, they respected him, but the way that they served him sometimes was by wrestling with him. I mean, you can understand, maybe if you have Parashurama as your guru, you do something similar. But you can understand if your Guru Maharaj says, let's have a wrestling match. I mean, he's very much into physical culture, being healthy, and he was teaching us by that example that it's important to be healthy physically and to have a clear, healthy mind at the same time. Very, very important lesson. So he defeated members of the Shankaracharya sect, such as Vijaya Sankara, and performed many miracles. One time there was a lady in a village who had no water. She was a pregnant lady. He put his danda on the ground and the well came out, or some water came out of the ground. So he performed many, many miracles. So in order to ascertain or understand whether what he was teaching was perfect, even though it was perfect already, he thought he should have the association of Srila Vyasadeva. So he went to Badrikashram, and he climbed all the way up there. One of his assistants, whose name was Sachatirtha, tried to follow him, but he couldn't follow him. And eventually Madhvacharya took his hand and he waved his hand, and Sachatirtha flew back to the base camp through the air. I mean, just because he was connected with the wind. So he could manipulate wind. We're going to hear a story about how he manipulated the wind later on. So he also composed a Vedanta Sutra commentary. Vedanta Sutra is called the Brahma Sutra too. And in this, he analyzed the three basic aspects, Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana, and presented that to Srila Vyasadeva. He also composed a commentary on the Mahabharata. And in his commentary, known as the Tatparata Nirnaya, he actually comments that many, or if not most, of the editions of the Mahabharata have been changed throughout the years. So he gave us the actual commentary and understanding which aspects of the Mahabharata were bona fide. So like in South India, they have a Mahabharata that's quite different than the North Indian Mahabharata. I'll give you an example about that. One is Satyavati, who married or had a relationship with Parashara Muni, and Vyasadeva was born. Everyone knows that story. In North India, it just happened on a lake or in the river. In South India, they had a regular marriage ceremony, lasted 3 days, or maybe longer. You've been at long marriage ceremonies, a day after day after day. The women love it. I don't. That's what mobile phones are for. You have something to look at so you don't get bored, right? I know. So anyway, the regular marriage ceremony. So you find some difference. So he was able to ascertain what's the actual real Mahabharata. And even today, there's something like 80 something editions of the Mahabharata, and some of them are radically different, except, you have the Pandavas, you have the Kurus, the good guys and the bad guys like that. But there's a lot of aspects of the story that are different. He met Lord Chaitanya, who appeared, not that Lord Chaitanya had come down at that time, but actually Lord Chaitanya manifested himself from the Aprakata Leela and told Sripad Madhvacharya his duty to manifest what's called the Dvaita philosophy. And Lord Chaitanya said that later on, I will manifest what's called the Achincha Beta Beta Tattva philosophy. Dvaita means dualism, like extreme dualism. There's God, there's a material world, there's the Jiva souls. But in Achincha Beta Beta Tattva, we understand that God is one and different from the Jiva souls. God is one and different from the material energy too, because it's his energy. There's much more of a concept of connection there. It's not so much of a disconnection, although it's very similar. Whereas some of the modern followers of Sripad Madhvacharya, known as the Tattvavadis, emphasize the distinction rather than the connection. But the majority have actually come along to basically the same philosophy as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has been teaching. So anyway, while he was in Udupi, an amazing miracle happened. It was the year 1285 that he was bathing by the seashore, and near the seashore or out in the ocean, because Udupi is in the ocean, there were large waves, and the ship was being tossed from side to side. And everybody on the ship was thinking, this is it. We're going to capsize. We're going to go down. So Madhvacharya, he took the upper cloth, Uttaraya, and he waved it, not only to show them how they could come to shore, but actually to quiet down the waves. And the waves quieted down. And the captain was ingratiated to Madhvacharya and said, whatever you want, you can have whatever you want, please ask for something. Madhvacharya said, I'm a sannyasi. Not like modern day, sometimes sannyasis will say, well, I want, like sometimes people ask me, what do you want? And I give them a whole laundry list. Not really. So he said, I'm sannyasi. I don't need anything, but I understand that in the ballast of the boat, a ballast is something that helps the boat stay down in the water. Because when you don't have a cargo or much cargo, you need some weight in the hull. So what they had in the ballast was Gopi Chandan. Because it's heavy somehow or they had. And he said, I want some of your ballast, some Gopi Chandan. So we got this Gopi Chandan, and he took this chunk of Gopi Chandan, and he knew what was inside it. He put it in the lake right near the temple in Udupi, and inside there was a deity of Balagopal, and that's Udupi Krishna, the famous Udupi Krishna. And some people say that that's the deity that was worshipped by Rukmini previously. And so, there's some stories about that. But, he considered that to be his worshipful deities. In addition, he had deities of Sita and Ram that are still there today in Udupi. You have to ask to see those deities. Most people don't know about them. But these deities are the deities that were originally worshipped by Vivaswan, given to Manu, Ikshvaku, passed down all the way to Lord Ram. And Lord Ram was given deities of himself. Usually you don't worship deities of yourself. So Lord Ram just put them in his closet. And so there was a Brahmin in Lord Ram's kingdom of Yodhya. And this Brahmin, he took a vow to fast unless he saw Ram that day. And so Lord Ram naturally had to go out. He wasn't always in his palace. And so sometimes the Brahmin had to fast for a week or two. And when Lord Ram heard about that, he gave the deities to this Brahmin. And the Brahmin worshiped the deities, and he could eat anytime he wanted. That's the advantage of having your own deities. So, not having to come to the temple all the time. So then he could eat anytime he wanted. And Lord Ram, so this Brahmin, gave the deities later on to Hanuman. And Hanuman gave those deities to Sripad Madhvacarya. And those deities are still being worshipped today. Well, then he proceeded to just travel around India preaching Krishna consciousness, personalism versus impersonalism, like we see with Srila Prabhupada. His pranam mantra states that Prabhupada came to the Western world to defeat impersonalism and voidism, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarni, performed many other miracles and amazing feats. One is that he was challenged by a wrestler one time, big, humongous wrestler. And he said to the wrestler, okay, if you can move even one of my toes, then you can win. And so he couldn't even move one toe. Another thing he did was really interesting, is the people there were killing animals in the name of sacrifice. So Sripad Madhvacharya understood the way to get out of that, even though if there's a particular injunction about having to kill an animal at a particular sacrifice, like Gomeda, Ashvameda, which is not applicable in the age of Kali, you could make an animal out of dough. You understand? Like clay or out of grains, some sort of grains. Actually, like you can make them out of grains, I guess, like animal crackers or something like that. Something like that. And people didn't agree with that, but he defeated them and showed them how in the Vedic literatures it says you can do that you can make an animal out of some sort of grains. As he was traveling, just one or two little three stories. As he was traveling also, he met a king who engaged him in digging a lake, and he engaged the king himself. One time he was attacked by some thieves with his devotees. And he said to the thieves, here's a bag of gold. Please take it. And then he ran away. And the thieves fought with each other over the bag of stones. So he was very tricky. So he went to Srila Vyasadeva a second time to show him more of his literatures. He took his disciples to Hastinapur, and he told the stories of the Mahabharata from memory. Yeah, because he was connected. He showed them Bhima's club, and then they reburied it. He took them to Kurukshetra, and he said, this is where this happened. This is where that happens. Pretty nice to have a tour guide like that, isn't it? He'd perform miracles like singing to seeds, and the seeds would grow immediately to a tree and bear fruits. And he left this world while speaking a commentary on the Upanishads, and the demigods showered flowers all over him. And when they uncovered him, took all the flowers away, he wasn't there anymore. And that's how he left this world. So that's Sripad Madhvacharya, and we are members of his disciplic succession. It's important to receive your knowledge and mantras, sampradaya vinaya mantras, te nishpalamataha, through disciplic succession, or else they're not effective. So today we are commemorating his disappearance and remembering such a great personality and who inspires us. It's not simply stories. I mean, obviously we can't imitate him. I am not going to eat 40 pounds of horse grains. I mean, I'm lucky if I can eat 40, whatever, 40 little grains. But still, his example inspires us of dedication to the mission of Paritranaya Saranam Vinashaya Chadushkritam, which in Kali Yuga means destroying people's demoniac mentality. And how do we destroy people's demoniac mentality? Anyone have an idea? Yeah, Cheto Darpanam Arjanam Bhava Mahadvagni Nirapanam, by cleansing people's hearts. Because in the hearts, in Kali Yuga, there's a little demon and a little devotee. Not literally, figuratively. And by chanting, and here we go again. So reading and associating with Srila Prabhupada, the heart becomes cleansed from Kamakroda Mada Matsarya Varyavaya, lust, anger, greed, illusion, envy, all these things that are demoniac qualities. Read the Bhagavad Gita about the divine and demoniac natures. Pravatim cha nivritim cha janana vidur asura. And this way, you can assure your future, have a happy life in this life. Just like we were reading the Bhagavatam about this flower garland maker. Krishna blessed him, this is the Srimad Bhagavatam, to go back to home, back to Godhead, and have material prosperity and be healthy throughout his whole life. So that's the advantage of these books. You get material prosperity. It's a good advertisement. I know Ditch is happy as a lark right now. You get material prosperity. So I used to sell books, Prabhupada's books. So, and you get, at the end, you get to go back to home, back to Godhead. Pretty good deal. Just for a little bit of money, buying a set of books. And you can't find a better bargain anywhere else. So if you're interested, you can see a Ditch Prabhu after this program. I'm sure he will fulfill all your desires. So I think we'll end now because we have a little presentation. Thank you very much. All glories to his divine grace. Srila Prabhupada. Srila Madhvacarya. Jai.
Hare Krishna. So let's thank His Holiness bkg Goswami Maharaj for the wonderful class on the glories of Srila Madhvacarya. Hari Bol! Thank you so much, Maharaj. That was wonderful. Thank you. And also, as Maharaj, like he mentioned twice in his class, so the importance of Prabhupada's books, and particularly as I mentioned, like last Friday, is the appearance of Srila Advait Acharya, who's one of the members of the Pancha Tattva. And then this coming Thursday, on 2nd of February, we have a big festival here. It's a Thursday evening. We start at 4:30 p.m. It's the appearance day of Srila Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Trayodashi Maha Mahotsav ki. So these personalities, the Pancha Tattva, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, who appeared 500 years before. Nityananda Prabhu is actually Balaram, right? So it is a celebration of Balaramji's appearance in one way, but the most merciful form as Nityananda Prabhu. So please do join us. This is one of the festivals which is like super blissful and super ecstatic festival. So on Thursday evening, please try to come early. 4:30 we'll start. We'll have bhajans glorifying Lord Nityananda. And then at 5 p.m., His Holiness bkgoswami Goswami Maharaj will be giving the talk on glories of Nityananda Prabhu. At 6 p.m., we'll have a wonderful Abhishek. Everyone get an opportunity to bathe Shri Gaur Nitai. And then after that, we have a short cultural performance and then a wonderful dinner prasadam for everyone. So please do join us this coming Thursday. It's a working day, but please adjust your schedule so that you can be here on Thursday evening. Very, very blissful. There's so much mercy to be obtained on that day. So let's all come together in Harinam Sankirtan, call out for the mercy of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Sri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Hare Krishna. So this Thursday, 2nd of February, please do join us. And also, I want to mention for this festival, if you'd like to sponsor any aspect of this festival, then the full feast sponsorship, we'll have a wonderful opulent feast for Nityananda Trayodasi, is actually $301 for the full feast sponsorship. So if you'd like to sponsor that, please do let me know. And then we have flowers for $251. And then Abhishek, Artik, or the new DT outfit. Each of them is $108. Right? So if you'd like to sponsor any aspect of the festival, please do let me know. It's a very special day. And the more you actually come, contribute, help in the festival, the more mercy we actually receive. And if you like to help and, come and do some seva in the temple, then we'll have cooking seva in the kitchen. You can help from 11 in the morning through the entire day, 11 to 6. There'll be seva in the kitchen. And then you can also help like during the festival, serving out prasadam, or after the festival, helping out with the clean out seva. So many opportunities to serve, but please do join us this coming Thursday for Sri Nityananda Trayodasi. And as Maharaj was mentioning, the book that Maharaj showed is Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. It is the life of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Panchatattva. And it is so beautiful, so nectarian. It's filled with like so many pastimes and so beautiful pastimes. You read it and it's just like nectar and nectar, right? So please do take a full set of Chaitanya Charitamrita with you. We are giving a special festival prize, only $108 for 9 books of Chaitanya Charitamrita, right? So please take a set home. If you already have a set, you can actually take it, give it as a gift to someone, or you can sponsor a set of Chaitanya Charitamrita and we can actually distribute on your behalf. Also, just a quick mention on the upcoming festivals. This week, actually, we have so many wonderful festivals. So today was disappearance of Madhvacarya. Tomorrow is the disappearance of Ramanujacharya. And then Tuesday is Ekadashi, and also we'll be observing half-day fast for Varaha Dwadashi. So Varaha Dwadashi is on Wednesday, and Thursday, Nityananda Trayodasi, and Sunday is Srila Narottam Das Thakur's appearance day. So this entire week is filled with festivals, and that's our bliss of Krishna consciousness. Every day is a festival. Hariva. So as I mentioned, His Holiness bkgoswami Goswami Maharaj will be giving the class on Nityananda Trayodasi. And actually after that, Maharaj travels to India for 3 weeks. And this coming weekend, immediately after Nityananda Trayodasi, for 3rd, 4th, and 5th of February, we'll have a special visiting guest. His Grace Adi Gadadhar Prabhu. He's actually based in Atlanta. He's the congregational director for many, many years. And if you have heard him, he's very enthusiastic to speak and very learned in the Shastras, particularly on Gaur Leela, pastimes of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda. He gives excellent, excellent classes. So please do join us on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So evenings we'll have program. Friday is at Srinivas Guru and Arundhati Mataji's house. Saturday evening is at Parikshit Priya Prabhu and Bhavani Mataji's house. And Sunday will be here in the temple room. Okay. So there's a flyer which has all the details. So flyer has also been mailed out. So please do join us the following weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So thank you so much. So just want to mention the sponsorship for today. So today's feast is sponsored by Mother Urmila and also Champaklata Mataji. And this is in memory of Mother Urmila's grandson, who actually passed away during this week. So we offer our heartfelt condolences, and let's pray to Sri Sri Radha Golokananda to shower their blessings on his onward journey. So they have sponsored the feast today as serving all the Vaishnavas in memory of Mother Urmila's grandson. Chakra is his name. So let's loudly chant and pray for him. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Also, we have another sponsorship, as today's feast is also sponsored by Hari Penu Prabhu and Padma Priya Mataji, and this is for Advait's birthday. So let's also chant for Advait that he grows wonderfully in his Krishna consciousness and he has very auspicious life ahead. So let's again chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Also, maybe many of you have heard that His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, he had, he was in the hospital. There was some health issues, and then so the disciples of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, they actually had the Narsimha Yagya this afternoon, and they also have sponsored the feast, requesting all the Vaishnavas to pray for the health of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj. So let's again chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So it's nice. We have so many sponsorships. We can finish our 16 rounds just by chanting with the songs. So we have one more sponsorship. Today's Artik is also sponsored by Nitai Gunamani Prabhu and Josna Mataji for their son Mehul's birthday. Arriva. So Mehul is right here. So we wish him a very happy birthday. And we also pray for him that Sri Sri Radha Golokananda shower their blessings upon him. So let's chant for Mehul. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Okay. So we'd like to thank the cooks for today evening. We had Annapurna Rasoi's team who actually came and cooked the Sunday feast for the pleasure of their lordships and all the Vaishnavas. So this team is headed by Krishna Kumari Mataji, Asha Mataji, Lata Mataji, Vijaya Mataji, and also they were helped by Sajjal and Sarvavit. And did I miss any names? Any cooks here? Okay. So let's thank them for their seva today. Haribo! Okay. So thank you so much. So we have a short presentation by Vikasana Prabhu, and then we'll go downstairs for the dinner prasadam, right? So at the table, a welcome table next to the prasadam, if you like to sponsor any aspect of Nityananda Trayodashi, or if you like to get a full set of Chaitanya Charitamrita, please stop by the table. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we're bringing up the presentation. It'll come up in just about a minute. And while that is coming up, I would like to share with you that we have this birthday blessing seva that's going on. And what that is that if you sign up and you sign up for yourself, your family, and indicate your birthdays, we will have your name in that week. So the Saturday to Sunday to Saturday, we'll have your name printed. A copy of this sheet is on the altar. And our senior Pujari, His Grace Satyavat Prabhuji, he has prayed for the devotees whose birthday falls in this week, and he will continue to pray. He'll pray to Lord Nrsimhadev for protection. He'll pray to Panchatattva for devotion, and he'll pray to Sri Sri Radha Golokananda for their overall spiritual welfare. So this week, we are celebrating the birthdays of Rajeshwari Maramamula, Mehul, oh, he was here. Oh, he's right there. Manaswini Chintalapati, Nandini Chintalapati, and Barsana Priya Mataji. Is Barsana Priya Mataji here? She's downstairs. So on the day of your birthday, you'll get a text message as well as an email with the blessings of Sri Sri Radha Golokananda. So let us all pray for all the devotees by chanting the Maha Mantra loudly. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. If you would like to sign up, you could just scan the QR code at the bottom right. There's also a QR code downstairs on the book distribution, the welcome table, and fill out the form, and you will have your names printed as well as the blessings coming for yourselves and your family's birthdays. Thank you very much, Sarva with Prabhu, for bringing up the presentation. So we're going to talk about the social media initiative at New Goloka. A couple of weeks ago, we kicked off a number of Seva committees. Social media was one of them. And the intent of this is to help in the mission of Srila Prabhupada and promote the message of Krishna consciousness to as many people as possible. And for those of you who are thinking, is this something that Srila Prabhupada really wanted? Well, Srila Prabhupada not only wanted, but he actually documented this in a letter. And this is 24th of November, 1970. In 1970, Srila Prabhupada writes, he says, we can use everything, television, radio, movies, or whatever they may be to tell about Krishna. Whatever they may be. In 1970, the internet, the social media was not present, but Prabhupada had the foresight. And what this whatever says is not only social media that we know today, but whatever else is that is going to come tomorrow. So Prabhupada had this foresight to tell us. And at that time, television, radio, and movies were already out there. So Prabhupada is saying we can utilize any of these methods of communication to reaching out to mass audiences to tell about Krishna. And so we are following Srila Prabhupada's instructions. We, ISKCON New Goloka, have established accounts for Instagram, Facebook is already out there, as well as YouTube. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. The kind of content that we want to promote, all of this was done by a team. So a couple of weeks ago, when we kicked off the Seva committee's social media team came together, and for the last couple of weeks, we've been, coming together, talking about ideas, brainstorming, and putting together what our strategy should be. So we have a strategy for social media team. And some of the social media team members are actually here. We have Advaita, Sarvavit, Ananda Leela Mataji, and who else? Ram Prabhu is here. Oh, Kiona in the back. And who else? Is there anybody else who's here? Yeah, so not everybody is present, but some of you are present. So again, thank you to all of you devotees for coming together and putting together the strategy. So the Haribol! So the kind of content that we want to put out there is promotional videos. This is really important. So we want to put out promotional videos and photos for regular programs and festivals. And so this is basically where we would take videos. We have, we have roles within the team. So we have videos that will be taken of programs, devotees getting together, and so forth. And then we can form a short reel or a small picture, and we'll put it out there as a promotional material. So what this also means is that you can also do the same thing on your side. You could, take a picture, put it on your stories, and we can tag us ISKCON of NC, and we'll get to a little bit more about that. But taking promotional videos is really key. It's really helpful, and it has a widespread outreach. Photos are from festivals and Sunday feast. Again, you have kirtan going on, we have prasadam going on. You can take photos, you can put it on your own, on your own feeds, on your home pages, and you can tag us. Advertising for events, infographics. So we'll be developing, like we have a Lord Nityananda Trayodasi coming up. So there'll be an infographic for that. That is what will actually go up on our social media. And devotee videos on their experiences of Bhakti Yoga. So again, for those of you who are interested, if you'd like to come forward, we'd like to make a small video, 7 seconds. 7 seconds is the attention span on social media. Anything longer than that, we lose interest. The algorithm works in such an amazing way that if, let's say, I have a 30-second video and up to 5, 6, 7 seconds, somebody watches it and they do not watch it all the way until the end, then that algorithm will rank the video lower because it doesn't generate that much interest. It's just interesting how the way the algorithm works. So what we found is 7 seconds is the magic number for having that algorithm say, okay, somebody can watch it to like 5, 6, 7 seconds, boom, now the rank actually, and it starts promoting all the way up. So real short videos, something that really catches people's attention, attractive videos. That's what we're looking to put out there. We'll have the programs will be broadcast live on Insta. So right now, Maharaj's classes are broadcast on Zoom and Facebook. We'll also put them up on Insta Live. So anybody who's following us on Insta, they'll be able to follow the programs live. We'll have Krishna conscious quotes, Bhagavad Gita quotes, Srila Prabhupada quotes, any of our Acharya quotes, Maharaj's quotes, and also inspirational video reels from Maharaj's class. We'll take short snippets of that. That's what we'll put out there. Devotee spotlight. This is something that we like to see how it's going to go. We like to see if anybody would like to volunteer, who would like to put a short video out there on their day in the life, the kind of things that you do. What do you like about New Goloka? What do you like about the Bhakti? And what message would you put out there for people to be attracted and come to ISKCON New Goloka? So those are just some examples of content that we are looking to put out there. If you have more ideas, please feel free, bring it up. We'll be more than happy to discuss it and think about it and put it out there. So with that introduction of what content is going out there, our first infographic, which is going out there, is praying for the mercy of Lord Nityananda. This is the first infographic which is going to be put out on Instagram, and this is going to be posted tomorrow. Haribol! And you can see that we're trying to reach the broadest possible audience, right? Indians, non-Indians, everybody. We're trying to, social media has that kind of an outreach. We're trying to reach the broadest possible audience. So we have things like, music, which is kirtan, right? We have free dinner. We can also be free soul nourishing food, for instance. That's prasadam. So we want to be able to share this out. And we give out details about, what the timing is, what the date is, where you can find us, and so forth. And picture of Lord Nityananda. Anybody who sees this picture of Lord Nityananda will automatically be attracted to them. Lord Nityananda ki! So if you're wondering how you can help, there's a number of ways. Well, I'm going to have on the next slide coming up, the QR codes for the various social media. I would like for you to follow us. That's number one thing. We need followers. We need followers on Insta. Facebook has about 5,000. We want to increase that. YouTube has 22 subscribers only right now. We need to increase that. So those are the two things we are looking on Instagram and YouTube. Follow us, absolutely. And then when we put out posts and content out there, please share those on your stories. When you put it out there on your stories, tag us at ISKCON of NC. When you tag us, it does an amazing effect. It not only allows everybody else to see, it broadcasts it in your own networks, in your own groups and circles. And from there, people can jump to our page and know more about us. When we put out a post, like Nityananda Trayodashi, this is going out there, please do like it. Give us that heart. What is that? Heart. Give us that heart. Put a comment on it. Write down, yay, Nityananda Trayodashi, looking forward to it. Festival, music, kirtan, fun, food, prasadam, all these kind of things, they attract. These are keywords that will be captured in the algorithm. And they look like, this Instagram will look at this and say, wow, looks like there is an event that's going out there and people are having fun. The more people should know about it, and this gets promoted. It's amazing the way these algorithms work. Comment it, like it, and then promote it, put it in your stories, and tag us. Absolutely essential. And for the ones which are on WhatsApp, WhatsApp is more of a peer-to-peer communication group. It works a little differently. It's not necessarily like an Instagram. WhatsApp, when you put a message out there, please take that and promote it in your own WhatsApp networks, in your own circles. You'll be part of other groups, so please be part of those networks. Take it and promote it out there. And when we put out the Instagram link tomorrow, so tomorrow we're going to put out two things. I'm going to put out a link on the New Goloka WhatsApp group. You can use that link, and then you can take that and forward it to your other WhatsApp group and ask everybody to follow us and help us promote. This is one thing that we can all do. Promote, promote, promote. The more we promote, the more visibility we get, and the more people will know more about us. And so right now, how can you help? We all have phones. Yes? No? Nobody has phones? Everybody has phones? Let's get those phones out, please. Let's get all those phones out. This is one time in the class when we can get your phones out. Other times your phone would be in silent. We appreciate that. Get your phones out. Bring up the camera app. Bring up the camera app. And if you'd like to stand up and come closer to the TV, that's fine. Bring up the camera app. And the first QR code is for Instagram. The first one is for Instagram. ISKCON of NC. Please go ahead and follow us. The second one is for YouTube. Please subscribe and like our videos. Subscribe our channel and like our videos. And then the third one is for Facebook. Please go ahead and, yeah, you know, I'm not shy when it comes to following us on social media. Please, we do need your help. Everybody, follow us, get connected with us. Yes. We can also request for Google reviews. Absolutely. Wonderful. Yes, we will do that. So please do follow us. If you have this, I'll leave this page up there. But yeah, downstairs on the book distribution table, you will find a one-pager similar to the birthday sheet that I just showed you. And that has all these 3 QR codes. Okay, that's where you'll see all the 3 QR codes as well. If you're going out there, having dinner, having prasadam, please do take the phones with you and follow us on the social media. We are looking for your help. And so we're going to start posting this tomorrow, starting from that infographic of Lord Nityananda Trayodashi. And we are really requesting you to help us spread the word. Kiona, would you like to say something? Yes.
Love it. And like you post all of that because like you love it so much. Okay. So my example is, let's say you come here for the first time and you absolutely love it because who doesn't love it here? And you're like, you know what? I'm gonna post it on my story, you know, show people that I went to this really amazing place and I loved it. So they should come here too. And you post it on your story, tag us at ISKCON of NC. Short, simple. It's pretty easy to spell. I see it as more letters than words, but tag us, it won't hurt. It's just a few more buttons and a few more taps that can bring our temple congregation and community way bigger and way more phenomenal than it already is.
Thank you. And so if you all have captured this, that's great. If you don't, we have this, I'll also leave it up there. And this is the last slide. By the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and by the mercy of requesting for the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we are looking forward to serving everybody, all the devotees. If you would like to be part of the social media team, we welcome you. You can scan this QR code and sign up to be part of the social media team. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. That's it for the announcements and presentations.
Hare Krishna. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Vikasanand Prabhu, for doing this. You know, this is like, as technology changes, we have to keep up with the new technology so that we can spread the word of Krishna consciousness. And this is like so crucial because everyone uses this media. So thank you so much, Prabhu, for the one of Hare Krishna. And also on Facebook, Prabhu mentioned, so we create events, like for Nityananda Trayodashi, there's already an event. If you just say that I'm going to the event, everyone on your network will see about the event. So that's how social media works. So please do accept the invite and share the word. Thank you so much. Okay, so our next program is Prasadam downstairs. So if you have any question or any ideas about social media, there's an excellent idea here. Please connect with Vikasanand Prabhu. He'll be downstairs. And then you can also join the team. Hare Krishna. Shri Shri Radha Golokananda ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, His Holiness bkgoswami Goswami Maharaj ki, Hare Krishna. Bhagavat Mahaprasad ki.
Mahaprasade Govinde Nama Brahmane Vaishnave Swalpa Punyavritam Rajan Vishwaso Deva Jayate Sharidar Vidyajal Jadendriya Draheka Jive Phale Vishaya Sagare তার মধ্যে জীবায়তি লোভ পাইছো দুর্মতি ताके जेठा कठिन संसारे ओ कृष्ण बड़ दयामय करिवारे जीवा जय स्वप्रसाद नदील भाई सेयनामृत पाओ राधा कृष्ण गुण गाओ प्रेमे डाको श्री चैतन्य निताय ओ प्रेमे डाको श्री चैतन्य निताय जय निमाय जय निताय बोलो जय निमाय जय निताय जय निमाय जय निताय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद ओ प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे भगवत महाप्रसाद की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय श्री श्री राधा गोलोकानंद की जय सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय।